What would you do if you gave everything to God, your pleasures, your comforts, your entire life, and then watched Him honor someone who barely tried? This is the story of two brothers, Sri Kilha and Sri Alha. Their tale is one of devotion, heartbreak, and the mysterious ways of God. It is a story of the world. One was a renunciant who lived only for God, the other enjoyed every pleasure the world had to offer. And yet, the Lord loved them both in ways neither of preserved through the centuries by the saints. Here is their sacred tale. Sri Kilha was a man consumed by devotion. He gave up every worldly pleasure. Every verse he composed, every song he sang, was for Sri Hari alone. His younger brother, Sri Alha, was a different man entirely. He ate freely, drank freely, and sang the praises of kings. However, sometimes he also sang for Sri Hari. But here's what made Alha extraordinary. Despite living so differently from his brother, he regarded Kilha as someone equal to God himself. Whatever Kilha asked, Alha obeyed without question. One day, Kilha turned to his brother and said, "Come, let us go to Dwarka and behold the Lord. This worldly life is an illusion. Our years are slipping away for nothing." And so the two brothers set out together, the devotee and the worldly man, walking side by side toward the sacred city of Dwarka. They had no idea what awaited them there. They arrived at Dwarka. They bathed in the sacred waters, performed the ancient rituals, and entered the great temple of the Lord. Kilha began to sing heartily, celebrating the name, the form, the glory of Sri Hari. It was the singing of a man who had given up everything for this one moment. Then Alha started singing, not with the ocean of devotion his brother possessed, but with humility, with hesitation, a few humble drops offered to the divine. Then the Lord spoke. His sacred garland was not for Kilha, the lifelong devotee, but for Alha. The younger brother pleaded, "Give it to my elder." But the priest replied, "The Lord's command is for you alone." Something broke inside Kilha. The man who had renounced every worldly pleasure, who had devoted every breath to God, felt that God himself had rejected him. He walked straight toward the ocean. He let the waves take him, but the Lord was not done with Kilha. As he sank, his feet found solid ground. Beneath the waters, a path appeared, lit by a light that did not belong to this world. He walked forward, carrying the wound of rejection like a thorn in his heart, but with every step, the light grew brighter. He was being drawn into the divine realm itself. And there, in the transcendent Dwarka, a realm beyond mortal sight, Kilha stood before Sri Krishna himself. The Lord saw the wound that Kilha carried. The Lord spoke. "In his previous life, your brother was the son of a great king. He renounced his palace, went into the forest, and worshipped me with single-minded devotion. But one day, a lavish king arrived in that forest. The prince turned ascetic, saw the splendor, and desire stirred within him. A single moment of longing undid years of renunciation. The Lord said, I place him in a life where he could experience the world's pleasures, and then return to me. His worldly life was never a failure. It was my design. The Lord told him gently that your brother has stopped eating and drinking. Tell him everything and give him the sacred food. Then both go to the forest and become renunciates." The Lord placed his sacred prasad into Kilha's hands. The insult that had driven him into the ocean dissolved like a dream. Kilha searched for his brother at Dwarka, but Alha had already left for home. So Kilha set out after him with love that had replaced every trace of bitterness. At home, Alha was wasting away. He had heard that his brother had drowned. He stopped eating. He stopped drinking. The brother he revered as God was gone, and Alha was choosing. And then Kilha appeared in the doorway. Alha looked up, his eyes filled with tears, and with whatever strength remained in his body, he fell to the ground before his elder brother. Kilha pulled his brother into his arms and revealed everything: the Lord's words, the truth of his past life, and God's love for both of us. The moment Alha heard the truth, he renounced everything. Without hesitation, he left his home, his possessions, his former life, and walked into the forest with him. And there, in the quiet of the forest, the two brothers sang together, not for kings, but for the Lord alone. And in the end, they attained Lord Hari. What can we learn from this story? God's grace doesn't always appear as we expect. When life seems unfair, remember you may not be seeing the Lord's full picture. Second, humility is itself a form of devotion. Alha never claimed to be a great devotee, he simply bowed before something greater than himself. Third, even though Kilha's pain was real, the Lord did not abandon him. If you are hurting right now, know that the story is not over. And finally, no one walks the path alone. Kilha needed Alha, and Alha needed Kilha, and both of them needed the Lord. In summary, always have faith in God. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more stories of devotion that the world has nearly forgotten. Until next time, Jai Shri Hari.